Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Hotelier podcast with me, Sam Erik Ruttman. Today we explore career reinvention, cross-industry leadership, and why hospitality skills are more in demand than ever, even outside of hotels. I'm delighted to welcome Monika Moser, a true powerhouse in hospitality and design. With over 25 years, Monika has worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, including Hilton, Four Seasons, Barriere, and Shangri-La, where she led pre-openings and crafted smart, effective operational strategies. She then took her talents to a design world, launching and managing offices for Wilson Associates in Paris, London, and New York, all delivering a standout luxury hospitality projects. These days, Monika brings her expertise to a broader range of clients from hotels to automotive and higher education, helping them to improve guest experience, team culture, and overall performance. She holds an MBA from ESSEC Business School. Welcome, Monika, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Sam Erik, for having me.
So, Monika, you had such a rich and diverse career from global hotel operations to luxury design. So perhaps you can start from the beginning. What inspired you to get a job in hotels?
Well, actually, the hotel bug bit me early because my father was a general manager in a intercontinental hotel in Venezuela at that time, where I was born. And we moved around a lot with the family. And so I grew up in various hotels in South America. And then myself, I started to work in evenings, to get the pocket money in restaurants, in hotels. And when I finished my diploma, I did an apprenticeship at the Sheraton Frankfurt Hotel in Germany. A big hotel, 1,050 rooms at the airport, was a good apprenticeship. And then I moved to France and joined Hilton Hotels for various front office positions. I opened the Four Seasons Hotel in Paris in 1999. And then I worked as well for Shangri-La for the opening in Paris as a general housekeeper. And I ended at the Fouquet's Barriere at the Champs-Élysées as the director of rooms and spa. I love operations, and I still do.
Wonderful. So you have a very strong background in the what I call the room division, and particularly housekeeping is a very demanding department in terms of making sure that the rooms and the public areas are in pristine conditions. Well, what were some three key points that you have a takeaway from all those years that you still hold on dearly in what you do today?
Well, I think it is important in our industry to know the basics in all departments. I think since the operations, everything is linked. Every employee is somehow dependent on the others and the other departments. It is good to know the problems of each department, the challenges of each department. And that you can't do it without the other. I think that is the key takeaway. It's a team. It takes a village, and everybody is involved to make it better, to make your work easier, and to satisfy the clients, obviously.
Sure. I mean, you're just looking at the different brands you have worked with. You have ranged from Hilton, one of the largest in the world, to a domestic brand like Barriere. Of course, they have international hotels, and then you have Four Seasons, which is set in the luxury level, and of course the Asian Shangri-La. If you have one particular brand that you grew up with, and you still use that as almost like a benchmark for when you think about hospitality, could you name that particular brand?
I wouldn't say benchmark, but when you grow up in hospitality, I mean, growing up in terms of gaining experience, I think it is very interesting to work with groups like Hilton, for example, because they are very structured. You learn a lot from the beginning as well. Well, now it's Marriott. At the time, it was ITT for Sheraton. But you have a real thorough and detailed apprenticeship, and you learn everything from the very details. Later on, when working with Four Seasons, I found that they have a really good program for management trainings. So I don't categorize into luxury, non-luxury, but more or less at the right moment in your career, which hotel is suitable.
Yeah, I mean, you have been very fortunate. You have such a wide scope from Hilton and then to Four Seasons, which is considered to be sort of the in some countries like one of the ultra luxury hotels in their cities. Yeah, but then you made a shift from leading hotel operations to taking on a creative leadership role in interior design. Interior design. How did your hospitality background shape your approach to design, and how did that come about?
Well, yes, and you're right. In 2015, I was offered the possibility to open the European branch of what was formerly the interior design firm Wilson Associates, an American firm. And we opened the Paris office with the signature designer Tristan Auer as the artistic director. And I managed to bring in the hotel operations into the design firm. I think it wasn't very common at that time, at least, to have hoteliers in interior design firms that were normally led by interior designers. But I think that with my hotel background, that was kind of a secret weapon in front of clients, because I knew the function, the flow, the service logic, and I helped the design team to bring that into their designs. I knew the pain points in operations because I worked in them. So I think I brought a little bit of the operator's mindset into the creative process, and that reassured the client in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I had also an opportunity to work with a great, as a designers. We had Wilson Associates for interior design for the Hyatt hotels I work with, and I could see they had a very particular type and very creative team of people, and also operational. We sometimes thought that, oh, that doesn't look very efficient, but then of course we have to make that compromise between efficiency and beauty in many ways. But how did you have any struggle when you had to kind of balance that between what sometimes the over efficient hoteliers want to have done compared to maybe the beauty of design?
Well, it's all about communication at the end. And what many people forget is that designers are problem solvers. You have to confront them with a problem. And unfortunately, that I heard many times, we do not want to restrict the designers in their creativity, as an argument of not giving us all the challenges they have in operations, or even the budget. It was somehow the best kept secret in projects. But this is what they do, and they need this information to make really a great project. And I've really not had in 8 years in interior design one project where there was a fluent communication between in a hotel renovation between the design team, the whole project team, and the operations actually working in that hotel, who could deliver all the problems they had that needed solving. So I think there is much more to do about communicating properly in projects.
Yeah, that's so true. That's true. So looking at your evolution from operations into design, it's clear that you embraced the transformation more than once. Was that a shift part of a broader reinvention, or something you felt naturally pulled toward?
Well, it's a reinvention as a form of evolution, I suppose. Yes, I did reinvent myself, but it is less dramatic, and rather it's a growth of your career, of your personality. When I moved into design from operation, it wasn't really because I was tired of working in hotels, but I wanted to apply that knowledge that I had from 3 openings and the skills I gained somewhere else, but still remain in relation with hospitality. And I think that this operational experience helped me to create better hotels with the design team. I knew that my skills from hospitality could benefit somewhere else, that even so now that I am doing a little bit more of consulting and training, I'm still applying the knowledge of hospitality into these industries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very rich career that on one hand, when it's not only a hospitality, but as you do something that has which is related to hospitality in a way in terms of projects that I think you're the only one I know who has that career path, and I found that very fascinating. That gives you all kinds of opportunities. But how is it then from talking to the hospitality folks that, well, I want to come back to hospitality and work in a hotel and so on. What has been sort of the response when you have approached them about this, when you bring your rich background?
Well, somehow people don't know where to put me nowadays. There is an expression in France, le mouton à cinq pattes. It's the sheep with 5 legs. It's not always helping. Yeah. Because we are not very creative in recruiting. And I see that every day because I'm currently trying to go back into hospitality and find a suitable position. And it is either we are too much experienced, not enough experienced. I went out too long from hospitality. There's always something that doesn't fit, but I think that we, specifically in Europe, we tend to be too linear on our recruitment search and positioning people. We are trying to find a sort of normal step on the CV, while we forget that we gain a lot of insights, experience, knowledge, and we develop skills in other industries that can benefit these positions in hospitality. So it has been a bit of a challenge, but I'm persevered.
Very good. I'm sure that all things will come out, good things come out eventually. But what's the most surprising insight you gained during this personal career gap year, if I may use that expression?
Well, it's actually that the knowledge we gain in hospitality is really requested in other industries. We need to be more proud of what we do in hospitality because other industries are really searching for that. We are able to work in high pressure environments, many hours. We know how to deal with clients in difficult situations. We know service, we know hospitality, and the hospitality mindset is something that can be applied anywhere, and many industries are looking for that now.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It actually leads us then to what you're doing now, that you have you're servicing, you have clients in automotive industry. So can you maybe share that is a very interesting opportunity that I never realized that this is an opportunity for hospitality professional to service the automotive industry. So could you share that opportunity and how did that come about and what you do there?
Well, it came a little bit as a hazard. It didn't really look for it, but we were approached to train people in the automobile industry to sell in a different way because they had an upgrade in their service culture and their objectives because the brand wanted to upscale the service. And interesting enough, which seems to be new, they are now evaluated. Their objectives are as well the part of client satisfaction, which seems to be new. So they have asked us as experts from the hospitality industry to train their staff in service luxury. But, like it always is, they think that an hour training will make them fit for this industry. We approached that differently. We did a thorough audit with mystery client and put them in front of the reality and compare that in what we would do in a luxury hotel environment. And so that brought us to teach them everything about servicing clients, emotional intelligence, difficult situations, all this. What we are so we tend to take it as normal in the hospitality industry. That is something that is applied anywhere else.
Well, what are some friction points you faced when introducing hospitality principles to what I call non-service industries, like perhaps automotive, but not any longer? But then how did you overcome them?
Well, obviously, there's always we have done it a different way, and it worked very well. It's and then you are in front of people that are very, very trained in technical skills. They're very knowledgeable about their cars. Specifically now, when we're talking about the automobile industry, they could tell me every technical detail about their cars. Very passionate people, but they were not trained for the emotional part. They were not trained to offer a experience. And obviously there was a lot of friction because of that, because they thought that was not part of their job. But I think while explaining it to them in trainings and comparing it constantly to what is in the hospitality industry and why we do it, it comes more or less. But I think there is a whole new recruitment challenge as well. They need to, like we do in hospitality, is to recruit for attitude rather than technical skills only.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So now you are also involved with ESSEC Alumni Association, just moving into that education side, since you had an MBA. So can you share with our audience about your involvement with ESSEC and give us some glimpse about what Alumni Association is all about?
Yes, well, I have been very active in the Alumni Association of the Hospitality Program, IMI, at ESSEC since my graduation, and I am currently serving as its president. And in addition, I am a member of the board of directors of ESSEC Alumni itself. But the role of the association is obviously benevolent, but a very fulfilling part of my work, my life, because I love networking in our industry, but it's as well about the legacy, the connection, building the bridge between different generations that I really enjoy.
Very good. So how can such an alumni association bridge the generation divide within the hospitality industry today? Because you have alumni which are in the senior years of their career, or maybe already retired, or they're in the beginning of their career.
Yes, well, we try to create the dialogue between the generations, keep the curiosity and the support between them, which I think is crucial in our industry, because there's always a moment in your life when you need some advice, help. The younger generation and younger hoteliers, what I find is that they search for purpose, flexibility, speed in their requests. The older generation is more about loyalty. What's been staying in a job for 20 years. There is a gap, obviously, between those generations, but through an alumni association, through the listening, mentoring, normalizing career changes in the industry, I think that a network like the Alumni Association can be a safe space to help to bridge these difficulties and to help people explore other options, maybe.
Yeah. In this alumni community, how do you ensure the wisdom of retirees still resonates with the new graduates?
Yes, it's an ongoing question, because there is always a moment in your life when you are more actively involved, and then you leave associations, you don't need them anymore, and then you come back when you're retired. What we try to do is to connect them through different gatherings. We do have get-togethers where they can informally be together. But what I realized from the younger generation is that they have difficulties to approach older generations. It's not that they don't want to. Don't get me wrong. They really want the advice. They really want to get the insights. They ask a lot of very pertinent questions. But what they have problems with is to connect with them. They think they are disturbing. They don't want to be the one who is searching for a job or looked at that. So what we are trying to do is through the student association is to create a space where in an intimate, very small group they can exchange with a very seasoned hotelier and ask them the questions so that there is a real one-to-one, more or less, a very intimate conversation that unfolds. And so there are different options that we create where they can do that. But yes, you have to, through the Alumni Association, create that connection.
Very good. So we have had a very interesting conversation now here about your career, where you started in the hospitality, and now you're involved in consultancy, and also your activity in the ESSEC Alumni Association. But let's go back a little bit to the hospitality side, because I'm always interested to find out from my guests what they think is the new thing, if there's anything new thing coming up, and how to keep up with the new demands of travelers. And there are a lot of things going on, particularly after the COVID, where hotels start to do more of a self-check-in and digital concierges. Now we have a lot of AI-related applications that are offered for all kinds of purposes. I'm curious to get your view on automation and all this AI, which is now being offered. Do you think there's a way of the future, or is it, and that means less human contact, and it's more of you're going to talking to AI agents or bots, or what are your thoughts on those?
Yes, our industry is very service-oriented and very human, right? And it's always the question. But I don't think it's an either or. I think we should give clients the choice in anything we do. Obviously, myself, if I only take my case, I come in from a long flight in the late evening. I don't want to speak to anyone. I want to self-check-in and easy, frictionless, maybe even on the mobile phone. And then there are occasions where I would love the warm smile, a little small talk, get some ideas about the restaurant in the area, things like that. So both are valid. It's not. It's about giving the client the option, the choice to do whatever he believes is right at the moment. Technology is it's incredible what's happening right now, but it's brilliant when it enhances autonomy. It should be a possibility to remove friction rather than replace human connection.
Very good. So I just have finally two things. One of the questions is that people who would like to connect with you and ask how can they do so? What are the points of contact, either on social media or emails, that you recommend people to contact you for any additional comments or questions, or maybe start a conversation with you based on our podcast today?
Yes, happy to. I do always answer to LinkedIn reach outs. Nowadays, you do understand when there are AI reach outs, so I won't answer to those. But if it's a personal request, I always answer.
Very good. Well, Monica, thank you very much for today's insight. And I'm sure we need to have another episode to talk about more specific topics with you in the future. So thank you very much again for joining me today.
Thank you, Sam Eric. It was great.